Hey, what's up, everybody, and how's it going, Dad?
Pretty darn good. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk some sports today. I keep getting little tidbits here and there, and the more I thought about it, the more it made me ready for tonight.
Absolutely. And for anybody else that's already here, hello. I saw Don in the chat. Congrats on winning Dad's race. I caught the end of it.
Come out of
Uh,
nowhere, didn't he?
oh, yeah. And Jellica Anna's here. She's showing her love for Joey Votto right now. And well deserved love because he's freaking awesome. But yeah, I mean, it's been a weird week since Monday in terms of sports. All we've had is baseball, and the Reds kind of let me down a little bit. We should have taken 2 or 3. And we've had some bad things happen. Um, with TJ, it just sucks because like he went out and they took his time. They took time with bringing him back because they knew the severity. They did everything right, and then when he went to AAA, he was doing really well there, and things just happened. He pitched 5 balls, didn't even finish the batter, and just walked up to David Bell and handed him the ball. And I think that's like the most heartbreaking thing ever, is because he knew. And it just sucks that he has to go through that Tommy John again.
Yeah. So watching the post game on that, you could tell that David Bell knew what happened. Yeah, Brewers prospecting. You get your Go Brewers in there today. They definitely come back to win that series. So they did pretty good. They're going to lock down the division. We're still just playing for the wild card right now, unless
I
something
did I
drastic
did
happens.
some weird math and thinking about, and I compared the Brewers schedule with the shout out from Samurai Beige Clan. Hey Aaron, how's it going? And also Frederick's in here. How's it going, man? But I did a little side by side for the rest of the remainder of the regular season schedule. And in my head, I accumulated about an average to where the Reds will end up with about 92 wins. In my head, it's obviously give or take a couple, but I think there's this big, we're gonna beat the Padres out. Like, there's without a doubt. I looked at their schedule. Their schedule is impossible for them. Being so slow right now, it's impossible for them to win out. But with so I looked at everybody's schedule, not just these 3 teams, but um, the Brewers have a couple tough teams to face. Hey, what's up, Maria? And the Padres, I'm basically counting them out, and I know it's too early to count them out. What's up, Rob? Go get your coffee. Uh, but I just feel like there's no way for the Padres to catch up with the remainder of their schedule. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Thanks for stopping by. But the Brewers have like a very in the middle schedule. It's not a hard schedule and it's not an easy schedule, but they do end playing the Giants and the Dodgers, and I think even the Padres. And I feel like with the Giants and Dodgers on their schedule, if the Giants and Dodgers can beat the Brewers, which is a really hard task right now, but if they can do it and we can continue to win, we have 9 more games against the Pirates. We have like 6 more games against the Cardinals. We play the Miami this next couple days. I did the math, and it is still somehow possible for us to catch the Brewers. Like, if they decline even for a minute and we continue to be consistent and win games, like, it's still possible. But I'm making my prediction right now. The Reds are going to end with 92 wins, and I feel like that's a hell of a year for us either way.
Yeah, that's definitely a year to be proud of. If 92 wins is, we figured around 90 the way it was looking a couple weeks ago. So I'd say that's a pretty accurate guess. And the thing about it is that
But the thing is like the 92 wins is not saying we're going to beat the Pirates all 9 times. I took an account for like losses against them and, losses against the Cardinals, which both teams we were able to sweep. But like I took an account for that. So if for whatever reason we don't lose any games to the Pirates or the Cardinals, that's putting us in the 95 to 98 area where I calculated my math.
Not to get too far off, really wish
Wish
for the
for the
best.
best and plan for the worst.
Yeah.
I know he's relatively new to our channel, and I've never met a Brewers fan before, but I'm actually really happy that he's here. For at this point in time, where like we're stuck behind the Brewers. The Brewers are hot right now. Like, I don't know, it's a good time to have a
So,
Brewers fan show up. So I'm really appreciative. Look, I am all for people that like teams that don't like my team. And Rob's in here, and basically he's supposed to be he likes the team that I'm supposed to despise the most right now, and he's one of my favorites too. And so like I like the adversity in the channel. I'm so glad that everyone that shows up here aren't the same and like the same things. Like I absolutely love that, and I just wanted to make a quick shout out to Brewers prospecting because
the last month of the season last year, because even though it was a shortened season, the Brewers fell apart and just barely scooted into the playoffs.
yeah,
They
I
had,
mean the Reds went on a tear at the end of the season. Granted, it was a short season, but they went on a tear to take the division right at the end. And so like that's where my head was kind of thinking like it's not a guarantee, and I am not expecting anything more than a wild card spot. But statistically speaking, I've done a lot of math between both baseball and football in the last couple of days in preparation for the NFL regular season. I want to like tally everything up and see how I do at the end. So I switched over to baseball, and like I feel like 92 wins is a pretty accurate guess, but there is still the ability for 5 or 6 more wins than that. And so I'm gonna always be hopeful, but I'm not going to be disappointed if the Brewers beat us out, because the Brewers, their pitching staff is the same reason the Giants have been unbeatable this year. They've gotten their pitching situation almost 100% squared away. They got a couple guys missing, but like that's why they're so good, because you've got some of your big names that are not hitting like they should be. And so, but you're still able to win games because no one can score on them.
yeah, the Brewers. I mean, the only bad thing about the Brewers is that their hitting is so back and forth because nobody really stays consistently hot, so they have to rely on their good pitching. They look a lot like Cincinnati did last year, to be honest.
Oh yeah, that was the main problem. Our pitching was fine. It was just no one could hit consistently last year.
Yeah, I mean, so they're in the same boat, but I would take their pitching staff in a heartbeat.
I'd take Corbin Burns in a heartbeat, dude.
I
Or Freddie, is that Freddie Peralta? Is that their pitcher? He's not playing right now, but when he gets back to playing, I would take him too.
Devin Williams and Josh Hader at the end of the bullpen. Those guys are hard to beat.
I would give up a lot to have Josh Hader in our bullpen. That's where we're hurting, honestly.
Yeah, I was looking back here today. I had something that hit me earlier on my feed, and I wanted to talk about today, but I got doing so many different other things that it never. Oh, there it is. I not to just jump off to another subject, but there's a lot of controversy over about this trade about Sony Michel going to the Rams. How do you feel he'll fare out there?
Probably as good as that Darrell Henderson. I mean, honestly, he's not Cam Akers. I don't want to get too far. I don't want to get into that right now until we're like done with baseball, because like that's our problem is we jump sports and then we never finish talking about anything, and then we talked about this too long, and so we never get back to it.
Usually where we start, we end up there for a really long time, and we don't get enough time on the others. That's where I was
here lately we haven't gotten any time really on baseball, and it's a big week for us. It has been since Monday, really.
So we're going back to that. Then the Gutierrez and Alcantara matchup against Miami is going to be another classic pitching match.
Yeah, that'll be Saturday.
Yeah, I'm really.
We got
really
Wade.
excited.
Hopefully he holds it together. I mean, he had a rough outing against the Marlins last week, but he's our starter tomorrow, and I got a lot of faith in him. Like I haven't given up on him because of one bad game. I mean, look at Sonny Gray. He had a lot of bad games and he's shaped up and he pitched really well today. And Luis Castillo started off rocky, and he's pitching really well. So we have Wade Miley and then we have Gutierrez and then I believe we have Tyler Malley to close the series.
Yeah, I mean our five right now is looking solid, especially if you go back to the if you go to the four pitcher rotation in the playoffs, which some teams do. Uh, I we've definitely got the starting rotation down, and I just don't think we're ever really going to get our bullpen worked out at this point, especially since So I got to think that I'm hoping that they bring up some of these youngsters from AAA.
I think we might see Hunter Green sooner rather than later in our bullpen.
And I think that's a good place for him since he's on limited innings because of the Tommy John surgery. That was so sad for TJ Antone because
it really broke my heart, man. Like
because
seriously.
here's the thing. I mean, rarely do you see people have the surgery twice. And the last time I remember somebody on his second Tommy John was a guy named Nick Massett, and I don't think he ever pitched again.
I mean, I could see it going both ways. I could see, after the second surgery, him deciding to hang it up. Like that seems like a valid option. But being he's so young and talented, I really do feel like he's gonna do everything he can to get that strength back and get everything worked out. Because I saw a lot of posts of him talking about how he has a lot of faith in the doctors to bring him back stronger than he was, and everything. And so I do think we'll see him again.
I sure hope so. Also, the Reds let go of Sean Doolittle right beforehand, and he got claimed off of waivers today by the Mariners.
I did see that, yeah.
Which he's another pitcher.
Some of the comments were like, I wish he would have picked a team that we're going to play again would have picked him up. And I was like, you guys are ruthless. These fan pages are ruthless.
Oh, yeah. But, and that's just the way the internet really rolls for the most part.
I mean, it's funny. It's all pure humor to me. But
just a couple years ago, Sean Doolittle was closing in high-pressure playoff situations for Washington. I mean, it's just amazing, how much a reliever is up and down.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. It's just like starting pitchers, too.
I'm really ready.
Speaking of high volume playoff feeling games, did you happen to watch any of the Dodgers Padres game last night? It went into 16 innings.
That blew me away.
Yeah, in the 15th inning, the Dodgers hit like a 2 or 3 run home run, and then the Padres came back and did it again, and then someone for the Dodgers hit another home run. And obviously they have the guy starting on second with the COVID rules still. But they hit back-to-back innings home runs to basically win the game. But how often do you see a game go into 16 innings? Like I feel like 11 is usually the overtime limit. I don't see that happen very often anymore.
Well, it's not supposed to with the runner starting at second base. So that just really goes to show you that it doesn't matter. And you know what? Those rules are probably going to go by the wayside after this year.
I really hope so, honestly.
The only one I really like is the 7-inning doubleheaders.
Yeah, if they're going to play the same day, I don't mind that.
I think that's really good for the players, and I think that one will get passed. But the starting the runner on second and extra innings, I think that's going away.
Yeah, I really feel like it's almost insulting to a pitcher to have a guy start on the second base.
Right.
I get that it's equal on both teams, but I feel like it's such a slap in the face to whatever pitcher's on the mound.
The Dodgers are having their way with San Diego tonight, which really does nothing but help us at this point.
I mean, I kind of wanted San Diego to win out that series, just to knock the Dodgers down a little bit. Not because I want the Padres to catch up to us in any way, but I did a lot of calculating things, and if the Dodgers can go on a slump too, it's not going to happen, but they could. And I took in consideration every possible outcome. Look, where we're sitting at right now, if the playoffs started today, we'd play the Dodgers to see who plays the Giants. And if we have to go to the West Coast, you know, that's the end of our season.
Well, look
But
at that deja vu. The last time the Reds were in San Francisco for a playoff series, they went out there, they won the first 2 games, and they come home and they lost 3 in a row.
that's, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's tough. We're going to get a feel for what the playoffs are going to feel like in like a couple weeks when the Dodgers come to town.
The Dodgers are the one team out west that we play well.
Yeah, I mean, we took them 3 out of 4 at the beginning of the year, which was a great feeling because that was before they slumped. So they were top dog when we did that.
And they had all their good pitchers.
They had everybody. Yeah, and then right after that happened is when they went down, and then the Giants really took off. But the Giants play somebody coming up.
They just beat the Mets today.
I think it's their next series that I was interested in. I know that the first pitcher of the series for them is Johnny Cueto. Unless that was the game today and I'm just making things up.
No, I don't think Cueto pitched today.
Yeah, he's pitching very soon. Whatever. I think their next series. I do think they play the Brewers soon though.
Well, that's gonna, anytime you can see a series like that right now, it's definitely worth watching because, you're seeing teams that are gonna be in the playoffs. San Francisco and a Milwaukee series sounds really good right now to watch. I love playoff baseball more than regular season for sure.
I mean, some of it, yeah. I mean, playoff baseball is obviously more intense, but
they go to Atlanta next.
I don't know what I was thinking then. Maybe it was that, but I don't know. I feel like one team that I could see in the World Series that no one is talking about is the White Sox. They have just been killing it, and I watch SportsCenter and all these channels like every single day. Like that's all I do when I'm not doing anything, or if I'm editing or whatever. I'm just watching this, and if I'm at work, that's also what I'm doing unless there's games on. And like, I would remember if they were going on and on about the White Sox, but no one's saying a word about them.
White Sox has an amazing roster. They underperformed a good portion of the year, and now they're getting hot.
Well, they underperformed because they've been battling with injuries all year. They haven't had a full team, but they're still just tearing across the board.
I still think Houston's going to have the run in the American League, but
I mean, playoffs get intense, so you never know. Like, I know that Houston can get there, and I'm fine with that. But I could see the White Sox, slipping in there without going unnoticed.
Yeah, I mean, the White Sox they're 19 games over 500. Finally, I mean that's pretty damn good.
That's impressive. It's just impressive. Yeah, like it's good, and like they've got a really good upcoming of some of their young players from their prospects to like their rookies coming up. Like they are getting built for the long run, and like I feel like they're not talking about them now, but they're going to be talking about them for a while.
I'm not really sure how serious that was. Have they posted anything about that, Brewers, since then? Because just curious.
Yeah, I did know that they lost somebody in the first game. Also, and like
that was Willie Adames. They pulled him
Willie Adames. He went out like after he'd only been to bat once.
He's that's when they got him, is when that team took off, when they made that trade for the whistle.
I mean, that dude's got right to have an ego, honestly. He reminds me a lot of like Tatis kind of.
Yeah, that I don't like seeing anybody ever get hurt, and especially when a pitcher comes out of a game like that, that the last thing that the manager wants to do is pull him out and then have to bring a guy in that's not ready to pitch and then come out there and do his warm-ups on the mound. So that's not an ideal situation, and I don't like seeing that ever. I hope the guy is okay, but I don't think it's an arm injury. I think it's a footing thing, right?
Yeah, I didn't catch it. I did notice that they got him. He got pulled, and
I was in the car.
It seemed a little early.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. That was the inning that we went on a roll, but I think nobody had scored yet when he got pulled out of the game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think anyone had scored yet. I'm still just mad about our bullpen. It's a hip injury for the game too. Yesterday. I know it's not TJ's fault, and I think that if he would have got hurt, it wouldn't have got hurt. He probably would have closed that inning, and things would have ended differently. But these other guys got to step it up. They just saw him go down like that, get your head out of your ass.
Yeah, there was I gotta say, when they called Castellanos out at second base on the slide. Yeah, I mean, when they called it, it didn't even look like he tagged him with the glove. It looked like he tagged him with his arm right here instead of the mitt. And it looked like the tag was late anyway, but they still uphold the call. I couldn't figure that one out. And then the next one was a fly out, which would have tied the game up. A tie game is a lot easier to come back when you're instead of losing. So there was a couple things that happened that really was – but that call with Castellanos at second base I think was off, but it is what it is.
I mean, this Brewers Reds series all year, it's been back and forth on these calls. Even the last time we went to Milwaukee, we got some calls that I would never expect us to get while we were there. So I'm not super mad. I know that it would have changed the game, but there's really nothing you could do about it. Also, Rob said, I'll be lurking. We'll jump in when we get back to the real sport like football. I'll be sitting here eating my peanut butter out of the jar. Literally, my dinner last night, I just sat on my couch and ate a half a tub of peanut butter out of a jar. And I didn't eat again. So, I respect that.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a long time.
I do that all the time. And it's not that I eat poorly. We actually eat really well now and eat good food and not just junk all the time. But Shelby wasn't feeling great, and I was just lazy. I was tired at work. So I just ate some peanut butter, moved on with my day.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Speaking of Shelby.
Why is that sad? Or which part was sad? I just said I respect you eating your peanut butter out of a jar. I do drop jelly in it. Oh my god, that's awesome. I had a salad today.
So did I.
Yo, dog. Eat a real dinner. I do. I eat dinner, and we have that HelloFresh. No, it was every plate thing, and they send us 5 meals a week. And we eat, grilled chicken and meatballs and pork chops and burgers and all kinds of, actually decent food. But she was sick, and she was feeling really bad. I think it's allergies, sinus infection or something. And I was lazy. And so most of the time I do eat all right. And I had a salad today, so I feel like that makes up for only eating peanut butter for dinner. I haven't had dinner yet today, but that's because I've been watching TV all day. But since Denise and I are fighting colds, yeah, it's all in up here, congestion-y, no fever or anything, but there's that. Speaking of fever, we can hop over to football now. Ryan Tannehill is going to be out for 5 to 10 days because he tests positive for COVID. And their season opener, they play the Cardinals. And, the only team, I'm not going to say the only team, But the biggest team that struggled with, all this last year was Tennessee. At least you don't have any dishes to do. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Um, and I just think it's funny that COVID strikes. No, it's not funny that COVID strikes anybody, but Tennessee did refuse to follow the rules last year. It wasn't they weren't. They just refused to. They were practicing at high schools together, like doing weird, questionable things. Um, but so I just feel like it's ironic that this happens to him right at the beginning of the season. Ryan Tannehill, Buzz Lightyear's face. He's got the COVID.
Hope he's okay.
No, I mean, I hope he's okay. I don't want anybody to go down because everyone was blaming Cam Newton's struggles last year on that he had COVID midway during the season. And I don't know that to be true or not. I think his struggles were he had no team and he did not know that offense of backups and he hadn't learned the playbook all the way.
I made a mistake by watching and listening to Skip and Shannon today. And, them two guys are, they're idiots, just to be fair. I don't know how they come up. How do you figure that Dallas is going to get 12 wins this season?
Okay, it's the Dallas Cowboys. That's what everyone's going to say. It's always their year until the day they get rolled out of playoffs, and then it's next year. And no offense to Bears fans either, but they're the same way. But Dallas Cowboys has the media to back them. They're going to back them every single time.
I just couldn't believe that those two guys that are supposed to be very analytical can come up. I mean, they were coming up with teams that they thought that they were going to beat that I didn't think they had a chance against.
The only team that I think the Cowboys are going to beat, and I'm not saying this to start a fight. I looked really deep into this, is week 1 against Tampa Bay. I looked at the historical, I'm working on, my final record for every team this year. And I'm going and looking at the history between non-divisional teams. And the Dallas Cowboys own the Bucs over the last 40 years. And so I'm not saying anything bad about the Bucs in this situation, but they're the only good team I have Dallas beating right now. Yeah, this is not me trying to start a fight, and I'm just being brutally honest. 90% of the time, the Super Bowl winner wins their home opener. I just feel like this one's going to be a close game. It's not going to be a blowout like everyone in the world expects it to be.
But listen to how this sounds. You win the Super Bowl on your home field against arguably the best team in the NFL. Your next game on your home field that counts, that means anything, is against the Dallas Cowboys, and you think they're going to lose. I'm not.
I understand exactly how it sounds. It sounds like the most far-fetched thing I've ever said on this channel. But it's really important to look at the historical relevance between two teams, especially that are not within the same division. The team we had last year in Cincinnati was not perfect, and I'm talking pre-Joe Burrow's injury. He was still a rookie. There was still a lot to learn and fix. But, historically speaking, we performed well against Tennessee. Tennessee was a playoff team, and we went to Tennessee and beat them. I'm just saying, it's important to look at those things when you're going to make judgment far out, not in the moment or whatever. And so...
Okay. I'm ready to give you your props. Analytics in football and baseball and basketball is a very powerful tool, and teams are investing millions of dollars into analytics. Analytics probably show trends and tendencies to back up what you're saying. I hope you're right.
The over-under on that is or not the over-under. The point spread is 7.5 for Tampa Bay, but I have decided that I do not care about those point spreads anymore because they've only ever let me down.
I think point spreads are eerily close most of the time.
They're close sometimes, but they always make me mad. And that's why I hate sports betting, but I also love it.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about that. I am so ready. Hey, when do we want to have a do we want to have a preseason fantasy meeting or anything before the season starts next week?
I mean, I don't see any reason to. What's up, Brockton? Hi, and good night to you. Dad gave me one of your chips, and I loved them. It was freaking awesome. But
Yeah.
the thing is like you can go in now. Like there's no waiver or whatever. You can go in and swap your dudes out. If you want to drop someone, you want to cut them, you want to pick them up, you want to move your team around, you can do that at any point in time. I've seen that a couple of people in our league have already made some adjustments. I have also made some adjustments. Um, if we win that game by half a point, I'll be happy. Yeah, I mean, like it's very, very likely for Tampa Bay to um, win that game, but I have to go strictly like statistical and historical relevance when making this list, and so I'm doing it for all 18 weeks, and so I can't just do it differently for 1 week uh because it's week 1. I wanted to all my method of picking my winning teams for each matchup all to be the same way. The computer says it predicts me to finish 10th out of
Hey,
10 teams.
with the zero expectations, the only way you can go is up, bro.
Facts. Mine says I'm finishing 3rd, and that's not going to happen.
I'm still pretty happy with my team, I gotta say.
I moved some people around. I cut some guys.
Hey, I am really excited about this league, and anybody that's hanging out in here now, and we're probably going to do a little something for it in here every now and again. But we're going to have fun, and it's gonna grow next year. We're gonna have a stellar league. I'm telling you, it's going to keep getting better. Yeah, I think Brewers is going to fit in here really well. Honestly.
I do too. I do. So I am management, I guess. I don't know what word you want to use for Card Sharks as well. And so, Brewers, I really appreciate you over there as well. And I've been working on, you mentioned Chronicles football today. I will have a Chronicles football video out next week. I just started it today, but I'm about 60% done with it. And so it's going to come out in the next couple days. So I just feel like since you brought it up, I'll let you know that. Go ahead and let you know it is for sure coming out this week. And we love the Chronicles football.
I mean, Rob, you don't have to do nothing. I mean, if you get totally embarrassed this season and you just can't bear to come in here and hang out with us anymore, that's fine. We will take shame as a reason not to come back. But, I expect you to get better as the year goes on and then be competitive at some point in time and then want to play again. I just can't wait until you cut Brady.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. You're going to be really mad when Brady is the reason you come in 10th out of 10. Look, I'm not going to do – look, all of the sports people tell me and all the fantasy shows I watch say that you shouldn't draft Patrick Mahomes, and I feel like that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So, I mean, I can have a really down year too because I finally got my hands on Mahomes for 1 year.
Yeah, the only thing about drafting the guy that you love most in the league is that your heart has a bigger impact on how you play it sometimes.
Isn't that why Mark stopped showing up? That's exactly why Mark stopped showing up, because the Cubs sold out, and he knows we'll rip him a new one if he shows up in here. And we got a Brewers fan in here, so there's double the rip.
Yeah. See, come on back, Mark. Come back in here. He didn't even show up for fantasy football, did he?
He didn't show up for nothing. He would have been the only person that tried to draft Carson Wentz.
Oh. Did anybody ever pick him up, or is he still out there?
He's still out there. And he's not even the top, 3 remaining quarterbacks. Also, whoever drafted Trevor Lawrence cut him, so I think that's funny, too. Nah, I respect that, Brewer. I'm also a lover, but if you met Mark, you would change your mind, especially if you care about baseball even 1%. you would change your mind and go after him because that is what this channel does. We love everyone, and including Mark, but we love to hate him. No, yeah, did you see that Travis Etienne is not going to have a rookie season?
No.
Yeah, he broke his foot or something against the Saints in his third play in. Oh, Brockton, I thought you went to bed. He knew that Rob was here, so Tom Brady's name was going to get mentioned, so he hung around for that. He was waiting. He's the all-time best for now. Patrick Mahomes is only in like year 4.
Yeah. Brockton, you just need to go to bed.
Peyton's in the Hall of Fame first. He's better. And if Peyton would have had an offensive line, there would be no even question on who was better.
Rob, what is your reaction going to be when Jameis Winston wins 12 games in New Orleans?
Oh, which is going to happen. They're one of my sleeper teams because everyone in the world seems to think the Saints are going to do bad.
I mean, what is your reaction going to be? Because, I mean, is just the culture in Tampa Bay going to suck? Is that the reason why he couldn't win there? Because, I mean, he had tools.
Also, Dawn says that Tom Brady is not the greatest of all time. So, shout out to Dawn. He wins today. He's the winner all around the board today.
I'm telling you. Don, good night, brother. I will get your your prize is getting built up tonight, so yours will probably you'll probably get yours first since you're the closest.
Okay, so speaking of Jameis Winston going and winning 12 games somewhere, we can talk about another team or another quarterback that's been thrown around a little bit who's gonna win not quite as many games as Jameis Winston, but Teddy Bridgewater, they officially announced that he is going to be their starter, and I think they're going to really change that division up a little bit. You know, I had the Raiders and the Broncos having 3 or 4 wins this year. The Raiders are still going to have 3 or 4 wins this year, but I think the Broncos are going to be competitive. They have a defense. They got Von Miller back. You know, they got Patrick Surtain, who's been tearing it up. You know, they've got a defense now, which is going to really change things.
So I actually watch some of their practice stuff, a little bit of their preseason stuff, and you know what? I think that offense is really gonna suit Teddy Bridgewater's style of quarterback.
I mean, look, everyone seems to forget when Teddy was in New Orleans and he played in for Drew Brees and how well he did. Like, everyone forgot about that because one bad year with a place he didn't fit in Carolina. Now he's going to go here that has a defense who has relatively young but good offense. You know, the only issue that Denver's had is that they're all young. But they're getting some veteran help back. And then you got a guy like Teddy Bridgewater, who's been waiting for his chance at a starting job. You know, he got it in Carolina, but he did not mesh with the coaches. He didn't mesh with that team. You know, that system wasn't for him. But he meshes now in Denver, and I feel like I was really fearing that, well, it's a love-hate kind of thing. Like, I was fearing they were going to start Drew Lock this year, but that meant they weren't going to win very many games. But now that they're starting Teddy, okay, now I have to worry about them because they're in my division. But I really want to see them do well because they have such a young team that has so much potential to grow. And, you know, I think Teddy's perfect. And I wish Colin was here right now because he's a Teddy Bridgewater fan. And I would tell Colin maybe he wants to think about picking Teddy up as his backup on his team.
Yeah. I like Teddy Bridgewater. That's just one of them guys that really hasn't had a good break in the NFL. I think he's really going to do well. And I think Denver's a good place for him. But also, I think Sam Darnold is a good place for Carolina.
I think that those 2 quarterback moves were perfect for them. Like, my two sleepers in the NFC this year, and I told this to someone at work yesterday, was the Saints, because everyone has no faith in them right now with Drew Brees gone, and the Panthers with Sam Darnold. They got Robbie Anderson. They just agreed to him to have a new deal. They've got a lot of young talent. You know, this is Sam Darnold's first year. He's able to breathe some. And so, I think he's going to have a breakout year. Is he going to be an MVP? No. But is he going to win a lot more games than he did last year? Yes. Is he probably not going to hit the ground as much? Most likely he's not going to hit the ground nearly as many times as he did last year. I think they have a lot of faith in him, so they're going to be trying harder to protect him. The Jets really did him wrong. And so I think this is like a rookie year all over again, but with higher hopes and bigger expectations. And I think he's gonna shine there. It's not gonna be perfect because it's his first year, but he's gonna win games, and I think that's what matters.
Yeah, there's not a lot of teams this year in the NFL that I don't think improved. I think as a whole, the sport is going to be better this year. I think competition is going to be tougher across the board. So, I mean, with that being said, a lot of these guys, I think, it's like they were talking about Cam Newton maybe losing his job to Mac Jones. But I think
I see it the other way completely.
Yeah, even though that Cam Newton didn't practice today in that joint practice, and Mac Jones tore up the Giants, he's still tearing up the Giants in practice.
It's the Giants, yeah, right. But the thing is he got put out of practice for 4 days because of a misunderstanding.
Right.
And so that's not his fault. And then the media immediately took that, oh, this is Mac Jones' opportunity to take Cam Newton's job. That's all I heard about this week is, oh, Mac Jones is going to be their starter now. And I'm like, no, he's not going to be their starter now. I wish you would stop saying that because, you're wrong. Bill Belichick is not going to put Mac Jones in there, especially week 1. They got a hard schedule their first 5 weeks. They got to get through week 1 through Tom Brady before Mac Jones will ever think about seeing that field. They're not going to let him go out there and get killed. They would rather Cam get hit over and over again. That sounds bad, but if their offensive line falters, they're going to let it happen on Cam and not Mac Jones. He's their prize for years to come. Cam is their temporary solution.
It's the same deal as let Cam get beat up and learn hey, props to Mac Jones for learning Bill Belichick's system fairly well early on. Props for him for being ready to go. Now sit back and learn a little bit from an experienced veteran, and then next year or the year after, when you get a chance to take over this team, you will be ready to win.
Yeah, I don't even know why it's up for debate. Everyone's debating, oh, who's going to start week 1 because he hasn't announced a starter. It's going to be Cam Newton. There is no debate. That's what he's going to do. And that's the whole thing. They've been saying Jimmy G or Trey Lance. Jimmy G is going to start. Trey Lance is not ready. Everyone knows that. Stop talking about it. Now that they announced that Trevor Lawrence is going to be their starter week 1, I think Urban Meyer's an idiot. After seeing their offensive line not hold up on first, second, third, fourth strings, Trevor Lawrence got hit on every single snap he played. That if he was throwing the ball, whether he got it off or not, he got hit on every single play. And you're not going to let Gardner Minshew go out there and be the one that gets beat up. So Trevor Lawrence can at least see how to not do that.
We're going to go back to what we was discussing when the Bengals drafted Burrow and then just discarded Dalton immediately. They should have let Andy Dalton go out there and play that first half of that season, give that guy some time to learn everything he needed to learn before throwing him to the Wolves and tearing his ACL and his MCL.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I did not agree with that. Andy Dalton should have been their starter last year, but they got rid of him, and then he got killed in Dallas. I just don't understand. I get you got new toys, you want to play with them. But if your new toys aren't ready to be played with, don't play with them. Let them sit. Let them cook. Let them get ready. They're going to learn. Yeah, exactly. Trevor Lawrence is going to end up just like Joe Burrow because, one, Trevor Lawrence went to a bad team. They don't have an offensive line. They've got a bad team. Like, there's a reason that he was the number 1 pick and went there. They're bad. And they didn't really do anything to fix it. Other than get a new coach and get a new quarterback. But that doesn't fix your offensive line. They didn't do anything. And he's going to end up running. He's going to look like Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, running 500 yards behind the line of scrimmage every game to avoid not tearing his ACL, which is going to inevitably end up him getting hurt.
Did you see the reports and any of the highlights from the Arizona Cardinals practice about AJ Green coming back into form?
I know I didn't, but I hope so, because watching them play that first half with their starters against Kansas City was like the most defeated and sad thing I've ever seen. Look, I should be happy Kansas City's winning, but with an elite offense like Arizona has to produce -1 yards with all their starters in multiple drives, it was really disheartening. So I hope things, shape up for them, because, like, I did not like that. 20 years ago, Ricky would sit 30 games. I think that's the right move. Unless you literally have no one, unless you're like Justin Herbert, your starter goes down week 2 and you have no one, they shouldn't see the field. That's why Kyle Trask is going to be good in 2 years.
Yeah, I just think Tampa Bay's future is so bright. The way they drafted, the way they've set it up, when Tom Brady retires, which may be this year, who knows?
Yeah, it could be this year, it could be next year, we don't know.
But, just to reload with young guys and then give a guy like Trask, who's a hometown boy, really close, has a great arm, just going to be ready to go at that point in time. Oh, my God, Adam Wainwright is – when you talk about Joey Votto hitting the ball at 37 years old, Adam Wainwright is pitching out his butt. Props to that dude.
Yeah, I think Kyle Trask is going to be really good, as long as he doesn't slip. They got other guys on their roster as well. So, like, that's like right now, I think New Orleans is going to end up with 4 quarterbacks on their 53-man, because they don't want to let Ian Book go, and they don't want to let that other guy they picked up last year go.
Yep. We'll see. I mean, but, everybody thinks that it's such a bad thing. That quarterback competition, Jameis Winston really working hard down there. I feel like they're going to do really well.
I think this Jameis Winston is like what Teddy Bridgewater was gonna be there if he stayed there, until Drew retired. I think he's gonna be good because, 1, Sean Payton's a good coach. 2, they take care of their quarterbacks there. Like, I think this is going to be a breakout season for Jameis Winston. Everyone's like, yeah, but 30 for 30. Look, he's not the same guy. He's not on the same team. He's not got the same coaches. Everything's different. He truly could have a breakout year. He's one of like 5 quarterbacks to throw for 5,000 yards in a season or some crazy stat like that. I think it was like one of 7 quarterbacks to throw for 5,000 yards in a season. Like, he's got an arm. He is learning. He's learned so much just from his short time being there. And he can see again too. He had eye surgery. He's going to do well there. There's nothing showing me that he's going to do bad. I have 100% faith in Jameis Winston, and I have 100% faith in that Saints defense, and I have 100% faith in their offensive line. I mean, I don't know if you watched any of the Jaguars and Saints game, but, like, they did a full zero blitz on him. He felt that one, zero blitz, that means there's one guy not guarded at all. He's going to come running straight at you. And, he made a 40-yard throw down the field and completed it with a guy right in his face. Look, that shows a lot, because, 1, he didn't really have any first-string wide receivers. He didn't have anybody on offense. These are all backups that are probably going to end up being their starters. But, they're still backups. And he's making these big plays down the field. He had more touchdowns than he had incompletions. I just, like, I don't know. I think this is his year, honestly.
Dude, there's just so many good stories, for how this season's going to start and play out. Everybody's
Yeah, it's
really
making it
ready
really
to
hard to
go.
pick my predictions for the end of the year. You can't make everybody have 13 wins.
No, I mean, and that's the thing is that
There's a lot
started.
of close games this year, I think.
I started on my picks, and I know that I'm not sure when we're going to do that recording, but I was, I already, I got 2 games into my first team, and then I'm already started having debates in my head about, ooh, how's this going to play out? It already had hit me because there was a couple teams that I was looking at, and I was like, man, I don't know who's going to win this game, but I got to pick somebody. Your computer locked up for 5 minutes, Rob? Oh, or was it was it Brady bashing? Was we doing that? No.
No, the thing is like that's where I was going week 1, week 2, like all games. Like that's how I was doing it. But then I got to this point where I was like, I'm struggling. That's why I'm going to the I'm reverting to looking at the historical meetings between these teams, and I'm not doing any divisional games first. I'm doing them all last. And I'm gonna see kind of where I end up with all of their other games outside of their like 6 divisional games, and kind of use that to judge on how well they're gonna do. Now, if I try to open 2 windows at once, it complains. Same. um, but yeah, it's real tough. I'm really gonna. This is the whole thing I really want to talk about today. Is week 3 final preseason starts tomorrow. And this is going to be kind of like a dress rehearsal for regular season. Like the Chiefs said every one of their starters are playing the first half. Like we're going to see everybody. Joe Burrow's playing.
Now Miami's sitting all their starters, or most of them.
But for a lot of teams, this is going to be a dress rehearsal. This is where I'm going to get to see, the real deal. And it might help me make the rest of my picks. Seeing some of these teams play. I can't decide on who I think is going to win, Minnesota or Cincinnati, because I haven't seen Joe Burrow play. I haven't seen
Yeah,
a good line protect
and
him
his
yet.
and his practice sessions have been very up and down.
Yeah,
Just like
speaking of Jamar Chase having his struggles, he has not dropped one pass since that last Sunday. And he connected 50 yards in the air. Joe Burrow threw it down the field over Mike Hilton today. Like, you know, everything's starting to add up and look good, but I haven't seen it. Like, I have to see it. I have to see it in a game scenario to be able to be like, okay, yeah, I think you can win week 1.
yeah, I hope they go out and play well against Miami this week, and I hope that Joe Burrow has a good series or two, however long he gets to play, and that they go into the regular season with a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, they're favored to win by like 3.5. Like, I know it's just preseason, but like, I don't know. It's still like a positive, and I think that's being, a lot of starters aren't playing. I'm sure we'll see Tua and Jacoby.
Tua is not playing.
What? What are they scared
No,
that everyone's going to figure out how bad he is? Like,
Miami is not playing most of their first team. I
you
know. I
know,
read it
at
just
this
a little
point
ago.
in time, I could see the Jets finishing higher than Miami. And the only reason that that's not going to happen is because Miami has a really, really good defense.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but I would, I would want to see my starters out there. But
Everyone else is doing it. You're not cool for sitting your starters. This is a big weekend, and yeah, it's preseason, and yeah, we've been saying it the last 2 weeks, but I think this is the biggest
well,
week of preseason.
but you know what? You should implement your game plan as if it was a real game. So, like, if you were playing Miami, you should go out there with your first team that you think is going to start, and let that first series on both sides be starters, and let's see what you got. See who you're going to want to sub in for what situations. Try different guys when you sub, but
Yeah,
that's what
see,
you're supposed to do.
DC Rob said Buck starters are playing first half. Yeah, the Chiefs are playing their starters the first half. They didn't say first quarter or first couple drives. Like, first half, that's theirs. And I think that's so smart.
Maybe we'll complete a pass. Maybe Tom Brady will get a broken hip.
Why are you coming at him so hard today? I didn't
don't
really
know.
say anything about him bad.
I did because it's fun.
The only bad thing I said was I think Dallas is going to beat him week 1. And, I feel horrible even saying that.
Their defense better be ready for Dak Prescott on a vengeance because he's going to come out gunning.
He's going to come out gunning. He's going to throw for 600 yards. And everyone's saying that Ezekiel Elliott is top-notch again. I refuse to believe that until I see it. Because the dude had more fumbles than he had touchdowns last year. That's pretty bad. He had like 5 fumbles in his career, and he had more than that last year in one season. So, yeah, everyone can go on a slump. It's the same like when we were talking about baseball earlier, but I will not believe that Zeke is good again until I see it. But they got a lot of young talent at wide receiver, plus they got Amari Cooper, but that Bucs secondary is no joke. Over half of the Bucs defense made the top 100 list. Speaking of the top 100 list, we'll actually get to see the top 10 and where they rank this weekend. And I don't know if I told you, but I know who the 10 guys are. It's Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers, Josh Allen, Devontae Adams, Derrick Henry, Aaron Donald, Travis Kelce. I don't remember who the other 2 are. But we'll get to see where they actually rank. And so that's pretty cool. They had Stephon Diggs in at number 11. I feel like Josh Allen's going to be number 10. Like, out of that list of guys, I think he's going to be number 10. I won't be surprised if Rodgers is put at number 1 because he won MVP last year. Like, Lamar was picked at number 1 last year, which was shit. I think it's funny. He went from 1 to 24. Like, that's a slap in the face. And Russ went from 2 to 15 or something. I'm going to start laying some bets on Alex's picks since gambling is legal in my state now. You know what? Don't lose money because of me. But I feel like if you want to put money on Dallas, it's not a bad bet because you're going to win more money if you put money on Dallas and they win than if you put money on Tampa Bay and they win. So, I mean, I am not a financial advisor or a gambling advisor, but I will tell you what I think all day.
Yeah, I was just sitting here reading that article. Brian Flores said he's gonna sit Tua and most other starters. The only ones that'll see action is several starting offensive linemen.
Well, they did have Jacoby in there, so Jacoby could win the starting job.
We've got to play the game, so we're not going to rest everybody, Flores says. So there will be some guys in there who will get an opportunity, but we will try to rest most of the, let's call them starters. I think it's a mistake.
I do too. I mean, Tua's still not NFL ready. Like, he's still not there. He needs these preseason games are more important to him than even these rookie quarterbacks that are coming into the league now. He's just not it. Like, don't waste your money on Miami.
The Dolphins open the season September 12th at New England.
Yeah. And New England's going to kick their ass. Look, I already got my division picks for New England. New England's going to take both games against the Jets, and they're going to split with the Bills and the Dolphins. The Dolphins are going to win a game against them. But they're going to be 4-2 in their division by the end of the year.
Can't argue.
And look, I am still iffy on one of those Jets games. I still think the Jets can come out on top on one game because they almost beat them last year. And the Jets have severely improved. Last year, they just had a broken quarterback in Joe Flacco. Now they got a young... he's okay. I'm going to say this, and this is probably going to be the boldest statement I've said about this rookie class so far. Or at least the quarterbacks. I think Zach Wilson is the most NFL ready quarterback out of all of these quarterbacks so far. And I mean, he's starting day one, and he's going to look. The Jets are going to finish higher than the Jaguars. Like, I think he's more NFL ready than Trey Lance. I think he's more NFL ready than Trevor Lawrence. Mac Jones, I don't even know because, like, I just don't know. And I think he's still more NFL ready than Justin Fields, even though by midseason, I think Justin Fields will prove that he is the best quarterback in the draft.
I think it's a crapshoot right now picking who the best quarterback that came out of the draft was this year, honestly.
I'm not saying the best quarterback, like what I'm talking about, Zach Wilson. I'm talking the one who is 100% ready for the NFL. Like, I think Zach Wilson, out of those, like, 4 or 5 guys, it's him. It's not Trevor Lawrence, even though, he was the one we knew immediately we were going to see week 1. And Justin Fields, he needs more time. He's going to be a stud.
But I'm pretty sure Chicago's going to do it right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Chicago is going to be fine. Like, they're booing Andy Dalton off the field, which I think is so ruthless and dumb. He's their best chance to win right now, and it's the same situation with Mac Jones, Cam Newton. Bill Belichick knows Cam Newton is their best chance to win right now. And I don't know. I just think, like, I don't know. Like, I hope they do right by him and don't do what they did with Mitch. But Brewers, yeah, after these preseason games this weekend, I'm going to give Dad time frame to get his list ready, and we're going to record a video and put it out. And so I'm really excited because we're going to do an end of the series or season video just to recap on the video that we're going to make and see who's better, who's closer, who does better, And I'm pretty excited about that because if I go through this and I pick all these numbers and 11-6 and whatever for all these teams, and we come back at the end of the year and I'm even 50% right, like nailed them on the head, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna buy a lottery ticket. Where'd you go? Oh,
nowhere. Trying to.
My football betting, I don't really get into it until playoffs, though. He's already said once tonight that you were more right than he was. If you're talking about the drone thing, I'm 100% more right than him because I was just like flying it in the yard. I got it about 40, 50 feet up, and he goes, "You're getting too high. You're going to lose control of it. You don't know what you're doing. Bring it down." And I was like, okay, whatever. He was like, "I want to play with it." I was like, all right. 5 minutes in, we're chasing it down the street. And we ran for over an hour. And that thing's probably in Canada right now. Canada or Kentucky to Canada. And I said, yeah, and I'm the one who didn't know how to control it.
Hey, you don't hear one slight bit of argument out of me.
No, because that Shelby and Ethan will attest that I said I had it under control, and then you told me I didn't. She said, OMG, not this again. Terrible time. You know what? That was like the second time Shelby'd ever been to our house. She was just pretty much meeting Ethan and everybody. Like, she knew you because of work, but like really the first time we all spent time together, and we spent the whole night running down the street, like covered in sweat. Like, Ethan didn't even have shoes on. It was a great bonding experience. I just remember I was like running, and I had been running for so long, and I look over like 2 blocks down, and I see you running, and I was like, what? How did you get down here? And so I like run over to you. It was like something you see in a movie or some shit. It was crazy, but that was a fun day.
Dude, I wouldn't trade that day for anything. I would like to get the drone back.
That's never going to happen.
But for what happened and how it played out, it was funny. I laughed endlessly over that.
I mean, my whole body hurt so bad the next day I couldn't stand it, but it was so good. I was not wearing the proper clothes to be that athletic. Everything's got to get better from that point. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was an all-time low, especially in the drone world. The worst part was you could look across the river up in the sky, way away, and you could see it flashing still, miles and miles and miles away down the road. Some metal detector's gonna find that. Wonder how the heck it got there. That's true. Someone's gonna find it and be like, "We should have, put your address on it so they can mail it back." Dog tag it. If I ever fly drones with you again, we're putting something on it because I don't want to risk never seeing it again because that was so much fun. The worst part about that day was it took us 3 hours all sitting in the dining room trying to figure out how to work it. We couldn't get it to run and we didn't know what we were doing. And so we spent seriously hours before we ever took it outside. And then we spent many hours chasing it. It was fun. It showed me how not in shape I was. Dad's in his work boots, I just look and I see him 2 blocks down, running the same direction I am. And I'm like, is that my dad?
No, man, it's okay. I have no shame.
Dude,
I will take my
beating
beating
that
when I
story,
deserve
actually.
It's not an open wound. It's actually a very fond memory at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2 years ago. It's been a while. I feel like I had something else I wanted to get into today. Talked about TJ's injury because I knew there was a couple of injuries I wanted to hit. Yeah, for sure. The Card Sharks channel, I'm gonna have that video ready. It's such a long video because there's a lot of packs in it, and I think it's only 40 cards, but or something. I don't know. It was a lot of packs in it, but it was our first ever mega box opening, and I think the video was so long because I was so excited about it, and so I'm trying to trim it down a little bit, but it's really hard because I don't want to cut anything out at the same time. So it's I got it at 15 minutes right now. And so that's probably where it's going to end up. But I'm going to try to finish it tomorrow when I get off work at 7:30 before Shelby gets off work. And then have it ready either Saturday or I might wait till Monday. Dennis Dayton has been wanting me to get in his card breaks. I always thought about doing card breaks, but the thing is one, our channel's not big enough because you have to have, I don't know that many people that are I don't actually know some of the people, on the channel. But the thing is we don't live in a super big area and the card world is really aggressive. I can get Pokemon cards. That's no problem. But these sports cards, it's really hard to get around here. If you want basketball cards, you're not getting them. We got lucky and got some hockey cards the other day. Me and Shelby did. But, we're, just trying to get lucky online, Target and stuff, when they do drops. We have to be right on it or those bots will buy them out. And, Walmart, over where he lives, has been pretty good to us. That lady that works back there, she's so awesome, man. They have a 2 limit, so we got two sports boxes, and they were if she was you can have 2 sports cards and as much Pokemon as you want. So we bought so much shit that day, and I was like, dude, you're seriously? I think it's just because she likes us, really. But the Pokemon thing's not as in high demand anymore. It's chilled out in our area. So I can get Pokemon. Yeah, the Chronicle series is not cheap. The box I bought that is going to be in the video, I bought it at retail and it was $40. and that's as cheap as you're going to get it. But it was a mega box. I can get the Chronicles draft picks blasters for 20. Like, but that's the cheapest sports card you're gonna buy. $20 is like at retail, no matter how small it is. That's like the cheapest, unless you can get some like individual packs, which are you can get for like $5. But God, it's so hard. But the Chronicle series is fantastic. There's like 12 different sets of cards in it, including the Chronicles, and we opened it. It was me and Shelby opening them, but Dad was with us while we were in Florida. Then it was the 2020 like actual NFL ones, not the draft picks, and we opened them. That was our first time opening them, and we were just like, oh my god, oh my god, every single card we were like, oh my god, this is the best card ever. But we've never seen any of them before. Yeah, and so I finally posted that video like a month or two ago, but like I was just like laughing because thinking in my head, I've seen a lot of these cards since then, and I'm like, oh, that's really not worth anything. But at the time, since we had literally never seen any of them except for the Chronicle base cards, we were just like, we just hit the jackpot. We have like all of the best cards you could think of, and like I didn't know anything out of them. I love to see the number cards come out of the box. I don't think we got any number cards out of Chronicles. We do have some Topps baseball numbered cards, and we also have Brewers. Speaking of, since you were stopping by now hanging out with us, when we get to 250, we're doing a giveaway, and I just separated all of our baseball cards, and we have a lot of them, and I have a lot of really cool Brewers cards. So you'll definitely want to get in on that giveaway when we do it. There's like 5 teams in there that like we just have so many cool cards of just like that team, and so. Like the Atlanta Braves are one of them. The Brewers are one of them. The White Sox. It's just like the most random teams. But yeah, but the only numbered cards we've gotten in football so far are from the score, which are like the low end. But I do enjoy opening them. I got this. It's just been sitting by me for. I showed it last time. The Senzel rookie card. I cleaned all of my cards out of this room and put them in the card room, but I just have this. This is all. It's just I keep picking it back up.
We're in the last week of preseason. What do you think? Which game do you think that has starters playing is going to have the biggest implication on your decision making for picking the first couple of weeks of the season?
Are you talking about like specifically the first couple weeks of the NFL season, like games?
Yeah, based on starters playing on Sunday. Anybody that stands out that if they play well, it's going to help change your mind or make your pick?
Arizona for sure, because last week watching their starters was heartbreaking. Like I said, honestly, Cincinnati, seeing Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow, but also seeing our offensive line with Joe Burrow. Seeing how all of our defense does, because Jesse Bates hasn't played yet. I feel like that's going to be a really big indicator for me. How they're going to show out in the first 2 weeks. By week 3 or 4, they're going to be like in a system and understand and mesh. But like week 2, 1, and 2, it's really going to depend on how their first couple series go together in this preseason game. But Arizona, I'm definitely keeping my eyes on. Kansas City is playing for the whole half with their starters. And, we don't really have a definite wide receiver 2 yet. We got Kelsey at tight end and Tyreek at number 1. But we got Mecole Hardman, Byron Pringle, and Demarcus Robinson, plus that Cornell Powell kid. Which I don't know if he's even going to make the team. I know they're tight end. They drafted he's going to make the team, but the Cornell Powell, he might not make it. But yeah, I'm really curious to see, which wide receivers they decide to utilize with their first team, and their higher up decision making, because that's pretty big too. You need more than one wide receiver, even if you have a Travis Kelce you can dump to. I mean, there's a lot of teams. Arizona is like definitely like the number one that comes to mind, and Cincinnati, of course. Uh, I have a lot of faith in the 49ers this year, so I've just been watching them just to watch Trey Lance because who knows when I'll see him again, unless Jimmy goes down, which he battles with injury, so we could see him by week 4. Um,
Oh, I wanted.
I do want to watch Chicago. I'm not gonna say that this game's gonna make or break my decisions on week 1, 2, 3, but I want to watch them play in like a lot of reps with their first team. With Andy, because like I just feel like he's going to go out there and prove to them that they don't need to be booing him in this preseason game. He kind of did that in the last series. They started getting mad at him, and he had like a 73-yard touchdown. I think he's really going to show out a little bit.
Oh, and just wanted to let you know, and I think you may not have seen it or whatnot, but Jesse Bates did play against Washington.
Oh, I knew he didn't play the first one. I didn't know if he played this one or not.
Yeah, and I through local radio, it sounds like they're getting close to working out a contract, so it looks like he may stay.
Also, oh, thank God. That'd be the biggest mistake they ever made. But Brewers, do you like football? And if you do you like would it be Green Bay? I'm assuming. Because I do have some cool Green Bay cards too. I have a surplus of baseball cards. I just now today started sorting out our football cards because I can't do a giveaway until they're sorted. But it's cool. Yeah, Green Bay, a lot of, especially like their older school fans are getting really excited because they have Randall Cobb coming back for this year. I know some girl I work with is a Packers fan, and she got tickets to the Packers Cincinnati game, and she's real excited. She was just going on and on about excited to see Randall Cobb and everything. I mean, I don't know exactly how he'll do, but it's cool
Yeah.
for them. I'm having a really hard time. Just like I haven't even started on Baltimore's season yet. Green Bay, not my favorite. Oh, well, who do you like then?
Chicago, Minnesota, Indianapolis.
And he's a cool team to like, but Carson Wentz is a bum. So if you like him, you're gonna have to get used to seeing.
I love everything about Indy but Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I even like their rookie and their backup, Eason and Ellinger. Yeah, I was trying to think. Chicago is probably the closest, with Minnesota being fairly close, or Detroit. Because we do have a lot of Detroit fans that have hung out with us, but they're from Detroit. Shall we say Vikings? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, I asked you that question about which game piqued your interest the most. I want to watch the first quarter of the Baltimore-Washington game.
Is Lamar gonna play?
I don't know, but I still want to see how. I want to see how they react against Washington's.
He says he lives on the Tennessee and Virginia border. Are you a Titans fan? Because I was talking some shit earlier, and I'm sorry, and it wasn't anything personal. You just said Brewers, so I just assumed you lived like in Milwaukee. Who else is there besides the Titans around that area?
Carolina,
That's a not bad team.
DC, so Washington.
WFT, Washington football team. Well, you're being real suspenseful. I can't figure it out.
You want to see shit go downhill. Like if I see like Pittsburgh Steelers come up. Oh, I can live with that. Even though
I can deal with that. We have a couple Browns fans in here, and they're all right. I'm actually really happy for Cleveland. They've been kind of for so long. That they're turning up. Well, we are obviously a Cincinnati loving channel, but my loyalty also lies in Kansas City, so I guess I'll see you in week 1. I'm really scared about that matchup, seriously. I'm actually scared because it's like if we lose and then the Browns decide to be bad, then it's like, oh, I can't believe you just lost to the Browns. And if we win and they decide to be bad, this is all, of course, if the Browns end up being bad. I don't think they will. I think they're taking that division, but it's like, oh, well, you just beat the Browns. Either way, it's like if you win, I feel like it's insulting, and if you lose, like I feel like it's insulting, and I just don't like. Why are we having a playoff rematch in week 1? I don't like that. That'd be like us playing the Buffalo Bills in week 1. That's like messed up. Jerry Jeudy fan? Well, Jerry Jeudy is with the
Denver.
Broncos, but I do like Jerry Jeudy. I think he's gonna have a breakout year with Teddy. Speaking of the Browns, how do you think OBJ is going to fare? I feel like we talked about it, but I haven't seen him yet, so. Hello?
I don't think. I think OBJ's done.
I kind of think that. I think he might end up back in New York.
I have a feeling he's going to play bad this year. They're going to let him go. And then I'm not sure who's going to take a chance on him, but somebody's going to get lowball him and pick him up. Somebody like Atlanta.
No, kind of like what happened to Todd Gurley. I'm pretty sure Todd Gurley's in Detroit now.
I love OBJ for his talent, but his attitude sucks. So therefore, I don't know where he's going to be.
That's fair. He is overrated, 100%. I mean, I liked him when he was in New York. I didn't care for him after he left New York. He said, I'm all over the place. I don't have one team. That's okay, too. I'm trying to be have an NFC team, but I just nothing in my body will allow me to just be like, I love this NFC team. So I'm gonna stick with the Chiefs and the Bengals because I'm always been an AFC person. I can't. I think Arizona may be the closest, or the Rams this year. Anybody in that division, probably.
I still love the Rams this year. I mean, even though I'm not a Rams fan per se, I just love them this year.
I think the NFC West, one of those 4 teams will be in the Super Bowl. Not the Seahawks, though. They won't be. I think they'll be competitive within the division, and that's that. I don't think they're going to be dominant. They have too many issues with their everything right now. They need to get some things figured out. I don't think the 49ers will be in the Super Bowl, but I could see them in the playoffs. I prefer more college football than I do NFL.
That 49ers team,
football starts this weekend.
If that 49ers team meshes well and comes together really well, they're dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, they were just in the Super Bowl less than 2 years ago. They were 3 plays away from being Super Bowl champions. They just got rid of the 16 starters going down with injury. I feel like they play more from the heart in college football because they have so much more to prove. I think that's how I feel about college basketball in terms of comparing it to the NBA. Like, the NBA, they're like, yeah, I make millions of dollars. But in, college, it's like, I want a job, so I'm going to try.
Well, now that they're starting to pay college players, which I don't know how I feel about.
I don't like it. Me and Shelby had this conversation, and she likes it, but I said that I don't.
Yeah, she likes it because Kentucky alumni have deep pockets.
Well, I don't even think it's all the way about that, but it's probably some of that. But the thing is my thing is most of these guys get full ride scholarships to go to play at these schools. that should be your payment. That you're not paying for college. Like that's where I stand. Like that's I have no other statement on it. Like that's how I feel. If you're getting a full ride scholarship, they should not be giving you a paycheck to do what they're paying your school for. Like you're doing that so you can earn a job. It's like being an intern almost.
Yes.
Most interns aren't paid. That should never be allowed. Yeah, feel about it. I mean, it's fine for the people who like think that or agree with it. Like I'm not going to argue. But I just I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me.
Paying a college kid takes amateur out of the equation, honestly, because if you're paying them, I think they could have worked out something better than to let them go out, because I feel it's going to be a distraction.
Yeah. I agree. But at the end of the day, what can you do?
But then again, Christian Lander is going to get paid for playing Fortnite.
I wish I was getting paid for playing Fortnite. I just started playing that again, and I'm getting a little better. The heart goes out the door when you start getting a paycheck. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's basically what I felt when you were like, I feel like they play more from the heart in college football because they have more to prove. Yeah, it's like once they get their money, it's like whatever.
The only good thing that I see that might come out of that is that some guys that may test the waters for the NBA might stay a little bit longer if they're getting paid to stay in college. Because some people leave college specifically because they need money for their families.
That's true.
So maybe it makes it a little easier to stay another year. If your draft capital is not high enough yet, and you want to develop, if you've got an alumni paying you to wash his car, and you're getting an extra, $5,000 or $2,000 a month, whatever, then it might be easier to go another year of college to up your draft stock. But yeah, I agree, Brewers, wholeheartedly.
Speaking of college football, I don't know how much Brewers you pay attention to like Oklahoma, but Spencer Rattler, man, that's who I'm watching. He's basically the number one favorite to win the Heisman this year. It's like 6-1 odds, but I didn't even think he'd be like in that conversation until maybe next year, because I think this will be like his first full year, right? And so, but he's like a young, like Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, and I'm really excited to watch him blossom, and I hope it translates well into the NFL, because like that's what that description right there is what everyone thinks that Trevor Lawrence is, and I don't think that's going to translate the same into the NFL. But I hope like this Spencer kid, I'm going to watch him this year and follow him and see how he does. I hope he actually maintains, because that kid looked so good last year, everything I was watching him on him.
Yeah, the first week of the college football season, my Indiana Hoosiers go to Iowa and play two top 20 teams battling out week one. Super excited.
I saw when I was watching like the Heisman odds, and they were asking who they thought. Wait a minute, I'm here to be in opposition, not in an agreement. That's okay. We're not talking about baseball anymore. But some guy said the quarterback for Cincinnati, and they said so we'll get to see him. He's gonna come play the Hoosiers in Indiana, one of their games. I don't know anything about this quarterback, but I guess he's led a lot of comeback wins with this team and everything, and so that'll be excited to watch. Local teams.
That's really cool. I didn't know that they played each other this year.
Yep, I just was listening to random I told you that's literally all I do is watch the ESPN, Jalen and Jacoby, Around the Horn, all these different shows. And I was even watching one about soccer today. I'm pretty sure the guy wasn't even speaking English. I was just like listening to him anyway. And he was like going on about something about soccer. And but I got to college football at some point today, and they were talking about the kid from UC, and so I'll keep my eye out on him as well. I said he was like a long shot. He was like, if you want to look at the odds for Heisman, you're gonna have to scroll a while to find his name. But that he was like, that's my favorite, and this is why. And like, listen, I was just listening to it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to check him out because UC had a really good year last year.
They almost beat Georgia in the bowl game.
They got screwed out of a playoff spot because of college football playoffs are weird.
That's a whole other discussion for another time.
I mean, I don't know enough to discuss it, so I'm not going to discuss something I don't really know anything about till I learn.
They're talking about expanding it, and expanding it will probably be a good thing. But yeah, I look forward to watching. I mean, Alabama, Oklahoma, Clemson, Ohio State are the top 4 projected this year.
Well, I think Oklahoma only because of him at QB. But I'm really excited to get some light on his name, and so people start talking about him. Because I was talking about him a while back, and everyone was like, who? And all of a sudden, in the betting odds, he's number 1 to win the Heisman. And I'm like, there we go. Give that boy some recognition. Because he's a baller for sure.
Dude, I'm really stoked because my Indiana team has a lot of good tests this year, so they're going to get challenged.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm excited to watch them. The couple games I watched of them last year was really exciting. That overtime win that they had, and they went for 2 points. Like, that was amazing. I think that was Penn State they played.
They almost beat Ohio
State, which was insane. Like, it was a great game. And the fact that they held their own that well was just incredible. It shows a lot of potential because a lot of those guys are still there, right, in Indiana?
Yeah, they didn't lose a lot. I was just trying to find out if Michael Penix, when he was going to be back from his torn ACL, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yep. So previewing Monday, we'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday of Reds baseball in Miami. I know that we said 2 out of 3 against Milwaukee, but that was like a more of a like hopeful thing. I think that we should have no issue taking 2 out of 3 this time around with Miami. We just proved that we can beat them. I know it was at home, but as long as Wade keeps his composure, and we got Tyler Mahle, who's great on the road, and Gutierrez, who has just become a star. And so we were pretty secure on the mound, as long as we can hit everything and, keep holding off until we can get Jesse Winker back in the lineup, which his date just like there's no updates, but they just keep moving his return date back. There's like literally no updates. All it is Jesse Winker has not started doing baseball activity. Like, that's all it says for every 3 days. It just says that. And so I don't know yet. So we're still batting okay for not having him in the lineup. I hope he's not off that much longer. Right now, originally it was September 5th, and now it says September 14th. So I don't know. Maybe they just want to make sure it heals right, which is understandable. This is rib area and everything. So we'll have that, and then obviously we're going to be talking about all these preseason games, watching these starters play, and getting really excited about the NFL season. And so I think that's about where we're at. And so
just another cool note is that I didn't realize this, but Michael Penix is due to play in the opener this year. He's still rehabbing his ACL, but he's due to play on September 4th.
Nice. That's like 10 days, less than 10 days.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
All right. Well, anybody who's still here, Alabama's going to be one of the top teams to watch in college football this year.
Always.
Yeah, it's just like saying Ohio State as well. I know that the Ohio State's quarterback is like number 4 and favored in winning the Heisman this year. I'm so glad that Devontae Smith won the Heisman though last year. Being that it was not a quarterback, like it just, I don't know. I like seeing things like that.
All right. Well, I am ready
Right.
to knock it off for the day. Are you?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who else is still in here other than Brewers. But hey, Brewers, thanks for hanging out with us. We had a good time chatting with you as always. We'll be back Monday around 6 p.m. And anybody else that's still in here, there's still a couple people in here. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we appreciate your support. Even if you're just lurking, yeah, we definitely appreciate. Oh yeah, Shelby's in here. I know she's in there, but it smells like she's cooking, so I figured that's why she hasn't been too talkative. But other than Brewers and Shelby, anybody else that's still in here, we really appreciate your support, and you being here this whole time means a lot to us. And we can't wait to hang out with everybody again on Monday. Hopefully we'll have good news. And yeah, so we'll see you guys on Monday, I guess. My son is stationed in Birmingham. He's in the Air Force. Super awesome. I feel like the Air Force is the best military, but
It's definitely for the smartest people.
Yeah, I was to say, Shelby was in the Air Force.
See everybody Monday.
We will see you all